All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Tonight we're continuing our Pillars of Eternity playthrough. We are deep into Act 3, looking at what we can do to close it out. Not just close it out, close out the game tonight. We're pretty close. We're looking at the main quest line. Okay, so Court of the Penitents, we need to go and get a divine favor. We've got most already ready to roll. The other one is Court of the Penitents, which is the leap into the pit. We've gone and found the pit, but first we want to do Council of Stars. Okay, we've done the White March Part 1 and 2. We have a couple of companion quests left open, but I haven't really pushed those just yet. At the Mercy of the Tribes, we're running at the moment, and that'll finish up once we finish up this area here. Hunter Brother, similar again. Old Queen and the New King is one of the God Help quests. Nest Above the Crowds is another one, which we're working on. In the A Servant of Death, we've got to go back. We've dealt with that one. Into the White Void, I can head back and do. So we've got a couple of quests up here yet to finish, one of which is the God's Quest. We got bounties. To be honest, we don't need to push through those. I mean, we've got tons and tons of money. We've done all the other bits and pieces as well. So we're going to head further north. That's where it went. Because I thought I had stuff loaded up. Okay, so we are in North World.
Whew, good thing I sold most of my jewelry.
On the hunt. On the hunt.
Alrighty, so we found... G'day, Stream Hub Shop, how are you? Alright, so we found someone or something. Coins is always nice. Alright, so there's nothing more on that side.
I'm on the trail.
Bad things look like they've happened. Lots of bad things. Hmm.
I shall be discreet.
Now, I suspect, I mean, I had a look. The fangs, I sort of want to lean towards them, having chatted everybody back in Elmshore.
Tread carefully, Estramore. Whew, good thing I sold most of my jewelry.
Hmm. Huh. Hmm. Uh, Huzzah. I don't need weapons. I don't need coin. Dungeon Delver. Apparently that gives me extra crit. Huzzah! Okay. So that's that one finished. Okay. I'm not going to release him just yet. He can stay with us. If I check my journal, that should mean At the Mercy of the Tribes is complete, so I can close that one out. Alright, so we're going to hunt a brother to go still.
I'll take a look.
Alright, let's keep tracking north. I think we do need a rest at some point.
They'll never know I'm here.
What kind of Estrom or foolishness is this?
Auric's shadow. Any closer and you'll bleed out next to him. thought. I'd prepared myself to meet a stranger, to share the honor and history of my village with someone who had no knowledge of us, even someone who'd scorn our way of life. I was going to tell him about the years of abundance in Masuk, how his granddaughters have hunted caribou, and his grandsons made our walls strong. But he'll be gone in minutes. He must know that Masuk remembers him.
If you've finished your chanting, we need to get to work before the meat spoils.
Did your elders teach you even a mouse dropping's worth of decency? There will be other kills to dress and eat, but there will only be this one chance for Sagani to say her due respects.
Have you no respect? A great soul inhabited this body.
And it's gone now. What's left is our kill.
I want nothing from the tongues of these carrion eaters, coming from people who revere stones and long-dead Audra.
It's not just worshipping stones, you fool. It's about respect for what was built by those who came before you. Persak means to you what those long-dead Audra mean to us.
She slanders the builders. You Estramoran are full of useless talk.
Dead on!
And that's how it's done. Bullseye. Gotta have something here that works. Show them how it's done! Not exactly what I was going for. Bullseye!
That was a lot closer than it needed to be. Much closer than it needed to be.
Missed.
What do you suppose happened to him?
Alright, we're going to take ourselves a rest. We need... we need a rest. Alright, we're going to go back to...
Have a moment to talk.
Fine.
A deer in the middle of Air Glonfoth. But I'm glad I can bring this success back to Masu. And perhaps Persoc will return to us one day because of it. To be honest, the biggest relief is knowing that my journey was worthwhile. That finding Persoc and carrying our village's story to him will strengthen our community and return his soul to us. I'm looking forward to being back in Masuk among my family and my people. But more than anything, I'm glad to finally understand the purpose behind these last 5 years. What do you think? Do you feel as though you understand the purpose behind your hunt for Theos? That would bring hope to many people, Watcher. I hope you're able to accomplish it. Anyway, Theos isn't getting any closer. I suppose we'd best keep after him.
Right, we took a rest. That means spells are reloaded.
Hothek Worthen Roth! Moeth Lavaru beyond seek.
Don't know that I wanted to go that way. Anyway. I don't know how much damage we took. So, how many of the spells got used up. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do here to expedite getting through.
Sweet
Right.
mother of Gallowayne! That's an impressive beast! Think we can slay it?
Vermin invading my nest, threatening my hatchling. You shall feed my young.
Right.
Moe Flexi Ana!
Who had the spell? Uh, hmm.
Slow down. We got time to catch our breath. Love.
Got him.
Show him how it's done! Yeah! Show him how it's done!
Oh, interesting. Let me grab that.
Show him how it's done!
You're not getting through me.
Okay, so we don't go northward. We'll go all the way back to Song to finish out quest line down there. Then we're going to go to Elm's Reach. Right, we're going to go to the long haul.
And this gash here is from when I woke up with a wolf pack trying to eat me.
There. Mauled by a bear 7 years ago.
Oh yeah, look here. And here. Once the bull had me properly hooked on its horns, things got worse.
Wrong side. I know where I am. Where did it go?
Extra more?
Ah, here we go. Huzzah! Nice. Okay, let's have a look. What did I get? Inventory. That's not bad. Nothing new. I'll move that down here. Right, I think everyone's kind of equipped already. soulbound gear, barehanded, soulbound. Yep, we're good. We're good. We're good. Alright, so now off to the Great Elm. Gonna go talk to the gods, turn in all their quests. The Hunter Brother was finished. Alrighty. Apparently there's one more quest we could possibly do, but it will end in tears, almost. Let's level him up. Okay, we're going to take 12 points. We're going to go athletics. And we're going to go I'm going to go Wild Strike, I think. I go the wrong way. I did. Okay, to Elm's Reach. And when this is done, I think it's the Burial Isle.
What's the hurry? Let's relax a while.
No, no. What's impressive is cleaving a man's spine without lopping the head clean off. That takes aim.
Did that once. My case was an accident, and I still wake up some nights feeling bad for him.
Right, so this will tick us over basically 4. Alright, so should be able to
journeyed to my temple and rid it of the dragon. Now my faithful may return, singing their joy to the skies and praising me through their creation. Glad because you seek to protect life, or because you seek a patron. And yet you have proven yourself with this task. I would tell you of another. Yes, but not only to stop things, to undo the tragedy he has wrought. When you reach the burial isle, you will find souls there that I have granted reprieve for their sins. I give these to you, for only they can bear you to safety on your journey down. And when you face Theos and the rotting fruits of his endeavors, remember the conversation we have had. In that moment, you will have power rivaling a god. And after it, you will live in the world that you have chosen. Choose restoration, Watcher. Return the souls to the bodies they were stolen from. Swear to me that you will do this, and I shall give you power to make even Woodaka quake. I can be merciful and terrible, Watcher.
Hey! List of other clouds is complete.
At all, traveler.
What was Bereth?
What did you do? That their essence circulate. You found a tree that had lived for centuries. Its roots were deep, and its boughs sheltered many. Why did you cut it down? All draw their life's energy from the deaths of others. This is why all must remain part of the cycle of death and rebirth. No creature may be a closed loop unto itself. If you know this much, God has already spoken with you and given you half of the answer. No mortal can survive the descent into the pit. But there are souls on the burial isle that are pledged to me. I will grant them to you, and they shall bear you down safely, as well as light the way beyond.
A clan of cloud ventured from the white that wails to find the crack in the ice. When you sealed it, you damned their souls to a slow, weathering here. One they had sought to escape. For each there is a season watcher. Winter's shroud covers all things in its time. The heat and energy of life dissipates, and untethered essence fades into chaos. But entropy is a chisel of ice and a hammer of wind. It is not for mortals to wield these tools.
I did not expect we would meet again so soon. You destroyed the army that threatened your life. What is it you seek?
Theos has removed these souls from the cycle. They are ice melting in the sun. Let them fade.
Let them forget this world and be forgotten by it.
Take the souls she so desires and grind them into dust. Let her see her careful schemes thoroughly ruined.
It is the destiny of all things to crumble and join the chaos that follows this world. Some seek it willingly, as you have seen.
To mingle, roiled and stirred by the tides of the universe. It is not an unkind fate.
I am the beast of winter. I neither speed nor alter my path for the whims and desires of kin. I take souls at the time of my choosing, be it mote by mote or in a sudden tempest of chaos.
These souls, they have already forgotten their place in this world. They have been lost to existence. Let them be memorialized and mourned for an age and then forgotten entirely. When you reach the burial isle, we will send lost souls to guide you through the pit. This is our gift to you. What you do after you face theirs will be your choice. But we would have you set the stolen essence adrift.
And whether you would heed us or no, understand that our end comes to all things eventually. Help us achieve it, and we shall reward you now with a power to rival Theos's.
But do not choose lightly. We forget nothing, least of all a betrayal.
Do not wait forever. We wait, but Theos does not.
Okay, Into the White Void is done.
Tread carefully. Let my...
You have slain 2 mighty hunters. Blood flows in the wall, yet no victor emerges. Ah, fresh blood. The new feast on the carcass of the old. Grow strong from the other's weakness. Sought and won the favor of Galloway. What new prey do you now pursue?
So you know. No doubt one of the others has already enlisted you, and with a different purpose. Nevertheless, hear us.
Track Theos. Follow the trail he has left for you, and corner him in sun and shadow.
You must stop him before he empowers Woodica.
And if you do, you will have a different decision to make. Souls were ripped from the world, ripe and full and pulsing with essence. Scatter them like bones to a pack of dogs. Their essence will strengthen the souls of the deerwood. Let the remains of the dead feed the survivors.
Penguin, you are not complicit in Theos' actions. That is why we appeal to you now.
And when you descend the pit to sun and shadow, you can count on our assistance to see you safely through. As I hope we can count on yours when you reach the bottom. There are many souls upon the burial isle that are sworn to serve us. They belong to you now, and they shall guide your descent.
Hunt him, mortal. And when you stop him, let the souls he has captured feed the deerwood.
Strengthen the souls of those who remain. Prepare them to face the challenges that will follow. Pledge that you will do this, and we will grant you a power fit for the finest warrior who ever lived.
Betray us and my beast
Hey,
shall track
creepy.
you down. Our allegiance is not to be accepted and cast aside.
My friend, this is a most auspicious moment. The Lord of the Hunt has spoken to you without omission or riddles. He said about his beast seeking you out should you stray from the task. It is not an empty promise.
Consider and calculate, but decide.
Hooray! Alright, that noise was annoying. Okay, so we'll have a look here. Okay, 2 there. We've got basically Durance and Grieving Mother, but I'm comfortable just proceeding without. And then we'll have the bounties. Alright, so we're going to head now for Burial Isle. Right. I think there's some trading.
Stop right there. You're in the wrong city, Inquisitor. Did you think you wouldn't be recognized here in your old home? I've seen your trials with my own eyes.
Suros, what are you doing?
An assassin sent by the Inquisition, my lady. Daring to approach our camp.
Surely this is some trick of my mind. I did not expect to see you again.
My Lady Ivara, I beg of you. This is an Inquisitor. This is a desperate attempt on your life. The only way it can succeed is if you allow it to.
This is a missionary, same as I was. Taught the wrong things as I was. If I can't have faith in one man's ability to reason, once he knows the truth, what hope do we have?
My lady, he admits being a spy.
That should make him less of a threat, wouldn't you agree? I have nothing to hide. All I see here is an opportunity to persuade someone who could help us. We have many former missionaries here. They are our most loyal, our most helpful. Many have died for us. These are not people we should be turning away. And if the Inquisition wants my life, they can have it. But they know as well as I do that my cause will not die with me. Come. We have much to talk about.
There's someone here I could trade with. I think. Leatherhead? Yep, here we go. We could survive with 4, I think. I mean, it'll be 3 by the time it's all said and done.
Slow down. We got time to catch our breath.
I remember when I was a girl, and the missionaries came and told us about the gods. They said we could see them in the stars. I remember when I heard that, I snuck out at night and climbed the watchtower in the old fort because I wanted to see them better. That fort burned down a few years ago when we cast the missionaries out. It was the missionaries who set fire to it. They didn't want us to be able to use it. Shame. There was history in that fort. I miscalculated many things since this began. I'm relieved you weren't one of them. It's a good thing we didn't hang you. I always knew this path would have consequences, but I never wanted to see Kratom suffer on my behalf. I don't think I can stay here any longer. I am told the Inquisition is gathering an army, that they have sent messengers to bargain with rulers from distant lands. Kratom is not built to withstand a siege. If war is coming, I should be doing what Theos is doing. I will need allies. Allies on a stronghold that can resist an invading army. Oceanus. They have held off many would-be invaders, and their king has no love of the Inquisition's faith. I wonder, would he listen?
Go that way, I think.
Another turn, Inquisitor. I ask again, Jovara Ixensios, do you confess to these heresies of which you stand accused? Do you confess to apostasy?
I confess to renouncing a mistake.
Do you confess to conspiracy against the one true faith?
I confess to opening minds.
Do you confess to false prophecy?
I confess to following a false prophet.
Indeed.
He wears the robes of a Grand Inquisitor.
You have no followers here, heretic. Your lies hold no sway in the court of the penitents.
Only my truth, then.
Another turn.
No! Wait! Wait! I'm ready. I'm ready.
You are ready to give a confession?
I'm ready to hear one from you.
Right, time to save. I think this is about to end. Well, not end the game, get real close. 3. No, don't change my difficulty. I fought through the White March very, very hard for this.
After what seems like an eternity, your rapid descent comes to an abrupt end. You remain still for a moment while your heart settles and your eyes adjust, breathing in stale, forgotten air. Before you, a narrow and eroded walkway becomes faintly visible in the dim light, cutting a winding path through a cavern so expansive it seems a world unto itself. In the distance, you can make out the cold gleam of living Adra veins that spike and fork in and out of view from the murky depths beneath. Their glow a faint and fleeting guide along the ancient trail. You look above at the opening you jumped through, now barely a speck of light like some distant star alone in the cosmos and forever out of reach. Your only way lies ahead.
Dun dun dun.
That went better than I expected.
Think I dislocated my... That's better.
I think that statue of Woodica was watching us soil ourselves on the way down.
Everyone all right? No shattered knees? Good. Just me, then.
Did anyone bring a ladder?
Stop your whining. Alright, let's swerve.
What's the hurry? Let's relax a while.
I'll teach you a lesson!
There's something you don't see every day.
I shall be discreet.
Othek were the rock!
Lavaru beyond seek! Uligna!
Dead on!
Thing isn't doing the job.
Othek were the rock!
Lavaru beyond...
I mean, we're not going to do anything with it.
Show him how it's done! Show him how it's done!
Daybreak looks interesting. Boots of speed. We'll take the diamonds.
Easy does it.
Lava room beyond sea.
Show him how it's done! That didn't work. Need to try some... I'll teach you a lesson!
How about we take a break?
Lava room. Arctic worth and wrath.
Exactly what I was going for.
Arctic worth and wrath!
I'll teach you a lesson. Risk Uligna. Lava. Lava root. Lava.
Hello, old friend. The ages have been kind to you, I hope. You are so different now from who you were then, yet much remains the same. Old troubles with a new face. What is it that has brought you here? I'd hoped after our last discussion you would find what you sought. Has it eluded you all this time? I can only guess your presence here has something to do with Theos. The energy of this place changes when he is near. I don't know what he has done, but I do know of the souls that pass through here now. They do not come by choice. After all this time, he would still stand against the tide. I will tell you what I remember. I can see his influence, still hanging like a weight about your neck. So it always was. He had inspired something in you. We spoke of him the last time you were here also. It was just after the trial. You were agitated. I think because you started to consider that what I was teaching may have been true. That the gods aren't real.
Huh. I'd dreaded the idea from the moment the Delimgon suggested it. And yet, it almost feels like a relief. She's not serious.
Nonsense! Clearly she has not been on the receiving end of a god's ire. She'd know how real the gods can be.
That doesn't seem possible.
What I taught was that the gods whose faith we had been spreading were not gods at all, but something else entirely. Something created by people. The Anguithan missionaries all knew it, but they never told the rest of us. They meant it to be a secret that died with them, and in the end, they allowed their bloodlines to fade from memory. I had been assigned to join a few of them at a temple. I found the door to their chambers closed, but the room was stone and the door thin. Their voices carried. I heard enough. I investigated the things they spoke of, and everything was there, just as they said it'd be. They were conceived by Engwith, a society of high minds and broad concerns. Theos' people. In their time, every people worshipped its own gods. Sometimes they warred over it. After a few wars of their own, the Anguithans sought an end to it. They devoted all their energy to finding the true creators. Generation after generation, they prodded and worked the stitching of the world and unlocked its secrets. One day, they found an answer. Except the answer was no answer at all. There were no gods to be found. Or if there ever were, they were gone. It shook them, this finding. If they could discover this on their own, how long until others would? How long before war and chaos reigned over a world without consequence? But they had mastered many things in their pursuit of these answers. And with their mastery, they crafted their own gods to fill the void, and sent missionaries to the corners of the world to spread their faith. I never thought of it as faith, but I think you are right to call it that. Let the world see. Let them decide what to do. That was my faith. I became a missionary because the gods brought me hope that I wanted to bring to others. For a time, the truth sent me to a dark place. Then the day came when I realized nothing had changed, that I still had a purpose, and the purpose was the same and it was worth living for. I began questioning the other missionaries in public, exposing their parlor tricks. In time, their following became mine. You asked me this once before. Nothing I can say would be any proof, and it may be certainty your soul craves. Resolution. But if you are bound for the same place Theos directs these souls, you will see for yourself, as you once did. Everyone faces this truth at one time or another. Few confront it. Few have the stomach to ask what if. And in avoiding the question, they deny themselves an identity of their own. What if all the tragedy, all the persecution, came in defense of an imposter?
That's not... That can't be right. Aethys, he's done miracles for people.
The power of the gods is undeniable. The truth of the story they weave is not. What if you had always been alone, without guidance?
Well, as poorly as I've chosen my guides, I suppose it would be a comfort to know that I'm free of them.
The freedom has always been. It was the guidance that was the illusion. What if neither guide knew the way? How then would you choose a course?
Well, I suppose I would always choose that which makes me stronger. But instead of doing it because Galawain wishes it, I do it merely because I wish it for my own life. Oh, Galawain, know that your humble servant was speaking rhetorically.
What if our burdens come to us not because they are meant to be, but because they happen to be?
They shape us all the same. It doesn't matter how I drew the small tooth, or even that Pursock had become a deer. The task fell to me, and I completed it.
What if no god had the authority to relieve our burdens, or absolve our sins?
Are the gods any less important because we created them? If what we're saying is true, people made the gods because they needed forgiveness, guidance, grace. Things we're not so good at offering one another. For the first time in decades, I feel whole. And it was the power of a god that made me so.
Power it may have been, but not the power of a god.
It can't be that grim. The challenges we endure, the choices we make in the face of hardship, those things shape us.
The wheel would seem to grant us little choice in the matter. Yet surely we are capable of more than mere endurance. Surely when the truth is laid bare to all, this suffering can truly be overcome. I ask these things not to trouble you, but to show why they must be confronted. No answer is simple, but somewhere between them all lies a truth so beautiful, not even a god could conceive it. Do we not owe ourselves a chance to find our part in it? If that is truly what you believe, then you are a far different person than the one I knew. I've been alone here with my thoughts for so long now. I've found peace with my failures, and with my punishment. I no longer curse fate for what might have been. But there is one thing that has clawed and scraped at my mind all these years. One thing that will not be put to rest until I know. Until I understand. I need to know why you chose to remain with the Inquisition, even after you'd learned the truth. Do you remember? All these years thinking about it, I don't think I ever imagined you did it without cause. This changes things. Good. Good. The things I taught, the things I believed, I needed to hear that. I needed to know it wasn't because... You were more than a friend. You were the only person I trusted. I always believed in your judgment. Never have I felt so confident in my beliefs as the day you arrived in my camp. You had heard both sides, seen everything. If not you, then who? I expected dissent, but I needed to know that true faith would prevail. Perhaps I've been wrong to place so much importance on one person's actions. It was all I could do to feel like there was an answer. Even knowing what you've told me, some part of me knows it doesn't truly answer what I wished to know, nor will an eternity of silent contemplation. I will have only my guesses and suspicions, and that will have to do. And what of your understanding of our past? Are you at ease with the choice you made? You have always had my forgiveness, no matter your reason. There are circumstances behind that reason we all share. Knowing that, it is difficult to hold spite in one's heart. At first I thought this might be the source of your soul's anguish. Now I see I was mistaken. You are not divided on this matter. You have put it behind you. It is with Theos that your agony lies, in sun and shadow. Your questions are not for me, but for him. And it may be that only an answer from the mouth of Theos himself will satisfy your needs. Yet if there is anything I can tell you that would be of use, ask and you shall know. In a matter of speaking, this is Braeth Yamen, the court of the penitents. Souls are confined here until they repent. They must beg the forgiveness of a god, pledge their soul to them, and they will be lifted from this place to the world above. In truth, they receive leniency, but not true mercy. The spite of Woodica is eternal. They linger above, at the site of the old court, and are not permitted to leave the island, forever severed from the cycle. This prison was full once in the days of the Inquisition, but time weathers all things, even will. I'm the only tenant who remains. Yet, I feel their presence strongly now, as it was in the beginning. You have brought many of them here. They cry out for the judgment of Theos. You have struck some bargain with the gods, then. They aid you because they would bend you to their own purposes. Engwith built gods from ideals, and an ideal on its own is a grotesque and vicious thing. But these souls, these forgiven, the gods have bequeathed you like chattel. They were loyal followers in life. They will be with you to the very end. I could not say for sure, but you have been to Sun and Shadow before, and it came at a crossroads in your life, when much of what you knew had been upended. I have to believe it will come to you there. Your concerns then were of loyalty and trust and the gods. Everything I told you seemed to send you further into doubt. His words mattered to you when you knew him then. After you and I spoke, you went immediately to seek him out. Perhaps you simply sought confirmation from the man you trusted. If something from that time still troubles you, it may be something he told you then, or refused to tell you. He keeps secrets better than any in this world. He cares only for the secret he keeps locked away. He destroys anyone who might discover it, no matter their chances. That's why he's always favored Woodica. It isn't in her love of promises or justice. It's her disregard for the rules. Her willingness to do what is necessary. To Theos, she's not a deity, but an ally with which to conspire. When her power waxes, she does as she pleases with this realm, as well as hers. And she wants that secret guarded as much as he. If Theos succeeds, there will be a shift in the balance of power among the gods. Woodica was vanquished once, when the other gods decided she had gone too far, and her power diminished. With this infusion, there is no telling what she will do. The only certainty is that there will be chaos in their realm, as well as ours. You will not find a more resolute being on all of Eora. There is no offer you could make, nor spell you could cast, nor pain you could inflict that would make him reveal what he hides. But I see you have become a watcher in this life. Perhaps in defeat, when he can no longer defend himself, you might learn something from him. Theos will not wait for you. If you do not catch up to him now, you may never find him again. It was good to see you again one last time, old friend. I thought I'd seen my last friendly face long ago. If ever we should meet again, in this life or any other, I hope to find you at peace.
And that was a huge amount of exposition. Oh. I don't need to fight battles. Let me just save the game anyway.
That's not very hard.
What's the hurry? Let's relax a while. Consider it done. There. What did I tell you?
Alright, Hooray!
So, it's true. The gods are a sham that people have followed for thousands of years.
Let's save before we go downstairs. We picked up an extra set of camping supplies. That'll bring us up to 5. We do need to rest and recalibrate. I don't know how difficult the final battle's going to be. So...
We've been lied to. Our whole lives, and many lives before that. And it's led us to put our faith in a pantheon of gods that never deserved it in the first place. You're right. People will be better off finding direction on their own than following this farce. Besides, the gods haven't exactly done much to prevent us from slaughtering each other. If anything, they've only given us more pretenses for doing so. Seems like that's all they've been doing of late. I've also been thinking, there won't be much left of Theos by the time you're done with him, if I know how you operate. That will leave the leaden key headless. Perhaps it's best it stays that way. Then let's face Theos. When this is all over, I'll make sure that no one is able to commit his abuses again.
Hooray! Ida, what do you have to say?
Doesn't that just beat all? Here I was, wondering all this time whether all these terrible things were people's fault or the gods. Turns out they might be the same thing. Wonder how things would have gone different 15 years ago if the Raid Sarens had been told their god was made in some forge or kiln someplace. Would we still have gone to war? I could see the rebellion still happening, but I don't know that they would have invaded. I don't know. When Woden left for war, we, had a fight. As brothers will. About him going off to war. He was set on it. My parents warned him. They said you get a new country with every trip across the border, but your god, you only get the one. Me? I didn't know who was right. All I knew was I didn't want him to go. It's the same for families as it is for gods. You only get the one. I said every vicious thing I could think of, trying to change his mind. He brushed it off. Just got me madder, of course, him being so calm. He said I should come with him, but he'd understand if I didn't want to. I told him he'd better be able to face his god one day and answer for what he'd done. He said he'd keep that in mind. And then, he was gone. By the time I'd cooled off, months had passed. One morning it dawns on me that my brother always knew better than me. If he was so sure of what he was doing, then I should be there with him. Packed my things and was on the road that same morning. Of course, what I didn't know then was he'd already changed his mind. By that time, he was dead on that field. Crossed my mind. You live in a place like Gilded Vale. You don't have a whole lot else to do other than think about things you don't want to think about. I hope that wasn't it. I hope he went there because it's what he thought was right. But it seems I'm not meant to know. If I'd have left with him, we'd both be dead, so I don't know why I bother thinking about it. I found my own way in the end, and it wasn't my brother's and it wasn't my God's. Don't know if it was right. But I couldn't abide what Widewin was doing to his own. God or not. I don't regret it. Whether Widewin was Aothis, well, it hardly seems to matter after what we just heard. All these questions I've been trying to figure out. I think I just miss my brother. Still one more mess we gotta straighten out. Come on then. I still owe you one.
Right. We'll save. All right. Yeah, the sun in shadow.
Even my Stelgar eyes can't see in this darkness.
How about we camp? Hey, everyone's level. They've got all their stuff back, all their spells.
Full of surprises, aren't you?
Look at the size of this place.
Incredible! I knew the builders could work wonders, but this is amazing!
I don't suppose you could make a few bridges the same way, hmm?
Can you do that again? I had something in my eye. I missed most of it.
Lavaru doing the job.
Othek worth.
Dead on.
Othek worth and Roth!
Levaru, beyond seek!
Alright, we'll take the torch off him.
Levaru, beyond seek!
Levaru, beyond seek! Levaru, beyond seek!
Were the broth!
Hmm. Right, we've saved. Tempted. We'll give everybody their spells back, full health.
Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen? I am trusting you to remain loyal to the god. If you do not, you will have greater powers than me to answer to. But you will answer to me as well. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
Right. Let's see if I can do this.
This is a missionary, same as I was. Taught the wrong things as I was. Oceanus. They have held off many would-be invaders.
You are ready to give a confession?
All right. Huzzah.
You are far from your post, Inquisitor. What brings you here? They are monuments to Woodica's greatest servants among my people. I hope to join them myself one day, but my work is not yet complete. That woman sought only to destroy the foundations of peace and civility that my people sacrificed everything to build. It has many uses, but its purpose is to bring structure to the chaos that surrounds it. We are in a sanctum holy to Woodica. There are others like it in service to the other gods. I come here often to pray for her counsel, and in this space I may be assured that she hears me. The Inquisition was based on the need to cut the flesh from a rotting wound. What is a god? A higher power? A rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked? Something men can turn to in their darkest moments when their days seem only like bridges from one tragedy to the next. Our gods are all these things. We are in a sacred place within earshot of the gods themselves. This is not the time. You've been through much these past few months. You will return home and you will rest. When you feel you have recovered, you may rejoin us at the trials. The Inquisition is far from over, and I will have need of you. There are many who continue to spread the lies of the apostate. The Inquisition will not end until we have pronounced judgment on all of them. How did you find it? Another in a string of acts of petty defiance. For all her knowledge, she always preferred spite over reason. Then she should have obeyed. I ask one thing of all my followers. She was incapable. A waste of rare talent and intellect. What of your cohorts, then? They have followed you to their deaths. Is it loyalty that brings them here? Or is it, as my agents suggest, that they have no direction of their own? You worshipped Aethys, did you not?
Your spies are good. What gave me away? The cape?
Yet when your god needed you the most, you chose your country.
We were being invaded. Not by anyone who was acting like a god.
Then I should think your hometown gave you a hero's welcome when you returned.
They made cake. Hard to blame people for losing faith when it's the gods who are misbehaving.
The gods argue over how best to prevent Kith society from destroying itself. These disruptions would not be necessary were mortal instinct not so diseased. What of you, Orlan? My agents tell me you are far from home, both in distance and in years. Have your friends proven a worthy distraction from the pain of ostracism?
Ostracism? Is that the name for the groin rash your mother gave me? Don't fool yourself, old man. You know nothing about me.
Enlighten me, then. Is it Galawain you serve, or is it WoW?
I do not serve Galawain. I am an instrument of his will.
But such difficulty on the way. If you had only accepted that perhaps you were fit to serve neither god, just as you were unfit to serve your tribe, you might have saved yourself the trouble.
Belittle my struggle at your own peril, Theos. I have been reforged by challenge and contest. Saved myself the trouble? Pfft, trouble, my friend, is what has made me strong enough to pull your lungs out through your colon.
Yet I suspect you amount to little in your god's eyes in either case. State your name and purpose, young acolyte.
My name belonged to the gods and my hand to their service. No more.
You serve none but yourself. Without contact with your order, you can have no higher purpose. Only the base concerns of the flesh. You have cast yourself from our ranks.
And I should have done it years before. I'd rather live in uncertainty than servitude.
And that uncertainty would lead you where it leads everyone. To doubt, to emptiness, to the many cruelties inspired by disbelief. You will have to forgive your Grandmaster for remaining skeptical of his initiate's choices. You are far from home, dwarf.
I knew my hunt would send me a long way from Masuk. It was a challenge I was glad to undertake for my village.
A journey, then? It must be of some import to take you so far and to less...
Anything worth doing comes at great cost.
So it was worth it, then, to tell a dying beast of things it neither understood nor had memory of. And the lost gift-bearer. You have been many things in this life, all because you fear what you really are.
Last I checked, the Ingwithans didn't make you a god. You want to tell me you don't have any regrets of your own?
There is no greater calling than the spread and protection of our faith. I regret nothing in service of that cause.
Then you haven't been looking hard enough.
Or perhaps I have merely witnessed the alternative. You are here because you are lost. The gods cannot reach everyone, I'm afraid. May you fare better in your next lives. I gather you have had your soul awakened. Why else would you shadow my footsteps like some stray mongrel? You think I have something to offer you, but our business was concluded long ago. You think your abilities only flow in one direction. That isn't how it works, I'm afraid. Not for me. For all that you saw of my soul in the sanitarium, I saw as much of yours. I answered your questions once. That your soul is not fit to accept the answers is of little concern to me. I lied to no one. Not to you, not to anyone. The gods are real. They are everything we need them to be, and the world is better for it. The heart of this country has skipped a beat, nothing more. I have done far worse. I plunged the peaceful kingdom of Telosus into civil war. I slew the monarch of Desantio, whose people never knew hardship under his rule, and replaced him with a cruel despot who brought them to ruin. When plague arrived at the great city of Arborensis, I saw to it that the cure did not. They piled their dead outside the city in heaps that rose above their walls. It is to show the proper perspective. There was a time, back when your soul was still a shapeless mist, when the world believed only in false gods. Thousands of them. Gods that told them to take slaves. Gods that told them to make war upon their neighbors and devour the slain. Gods that told them to burn their children alive and cover themselves in the ashes as a sign of their faith. But all that changed when they learned of the true gods. Our gods. All those misshapen, bestial instincts melted beneath the radiance of our God's majesty. You could see it in their eyes. That dull emptiness replaced with the glimmer of a kindled spark. No person can overcome his instincts by himself. Only with the aid of a god, someone he will respect and listen to, even against his every impulse, does he stand a chance. Have you imagined this existence? The one the apostate would have created. We are not all so virtuous as she. Without our gods, the most wicked, the most tyrannical, they would take that power for themselves. But more than that, it would be a hollow existence. All mysteries forever unanswered. All purposes constructed from meaninglessness. No endings to bring closure. Only a wheel, turning without mercy, grinding our spirits to dust. It is the least of all possible costs. Are you so dense as to think a faithless world would not be ridden with calamity? All I have seen, the millennia of experience. I will not be dissuaded from this course. This is the only way. We are all controlled by our own doubts. Better that we should be relieved of them. With your soul and thousands of others, I will see this world purged of its suffering. Hear me, Woodica. Your servant calls for aid.
Hey, things are about to happen. Oh, that was a long bit of exposition. Again. Thought I got through it with the first lot. No. At least it's courteous enough to save after.
That's not very helpful.
Offense worth and raw!
That's good.
A wall of many colours dropped him.
I hope this is the end, but what's to stop him from being born again with the same ill intent? And before you suggest the option, no, I'm not eating his soul. I'll put almost anything in my mouth, but not that.
After journeying for lifetimes, I can't imagine his failure, knowing it was all for nothing.
At some point, you have to look at the things your god is telling you to do, and ask yourself if it's worth it.
He spent his lives, more than any of us will ever know. For what? Binding the world to a lie. Could a man like that ever be redeemed?
Can't help but feel sorry for him. To live so long without a fresh start, with no chance to wonder what's around the corner.
Hmm. I cannot I don't think I can accept him potentially returning in any way, shape, or form. He's got to be
A quick
destroyed.
end. This is a mercy.
All right. Well, hang on. Everyone's got things to say.
Astounding. I always knew the leaden key stood for something big, but I didn't quite realize what I'd gotten myself into. And now, you're in the middle of something even bigger. The decision that will affect millions. But even if you send the souls somewhere specific now, who knows what the next turn of the wheel will make of them? We can't really control what happens to them. Nor should we try. I had to see the monster Theos had become to realize that. It's your decision, of course. And whatever you decide, I'm glad our paths crossed in Gilded Vale.
Theos, he had hold of your soul from a long time back, seems like. You get what you needed from him? Not many can say that these days. Not with the gods using the world to settle their problems. You'll be feeling better soon then. Good. That's real good. You got it figured out what you're going to do about all that? Got a lot of people out there thinking they've been abandoned by their gods. There's not much that'll put the fear in you more than that. You can take my word for it. If it was in my power, and I know it's not, but if it was, I'd find a way to give them the courage to face it. Not because they think there's some god looking out for them, but because they've just got it in them. And after what you've been through, though, I'm sure you got your own ideas. Better make it good.
Alright, Sagani.
Never thought I'd see something like this in my travels. Lends a little perspective, doesn't it? To think, the decisions the Anguithans made thousands of years ago still shape our lives today. It would be a shame to deny these souls the chance to find their own way and their own purpose. I'd probably still be twiddling my thumbs by the side of the road if you hadn't come along. Thanks for bringing us this far.
And reverse.
Victory looks good on you. There was a blur about your soul that lingers no more. Seems putting Theos to rest has given you some measure of inner peace. Of course, now you need to decide what to do with these trapped souls. You've won the right, if you wish, to use these souls as fodder to strengthen the living. Think of the Hollowborn. Think of the victims of animancy gone awry. It would be a great boon to so many. Consider, my watcher friend, that a true hunter provides strength and sustenance for the whole tribe. But that is merely my 2 pawns on this matter. This is your hunt, your victory, your prize. When I lost my way, you helped steer me back to Gallowayne. I sincerely believe the Seeker God has returned the favor by guiding you to this moment. It has been an honor to be a part of your pack.
Alright.
You know the bitterness of servitude, Watcher. The sting of the lash on your back, and scalding rage in your chest as you watch your masters grow fat on your toils. Oil wine dribbling down their chins while blood runs from yours. You have labored at the pleasure of others. That shriveled hag in Harvard House, those preening soldiers with more taste for silk than steel, the wretched tribesmen playing out their fantasies of grandeur. And then you cowered and knelt before the gods themselves, begging one paltry favor and receiving riddles and visions in response. And now the gods give you orders and commands, even while you set out to fix what they cannot. Yet what have they offered you? The exiled queen is not an ungrateful patron. Finish the work Theos began. Strengthen Woodica with these souls and allow her to become the most powerful of all the gods, with you as her favorite. You say that now, but when you're standing in front of the machine, considering the lifetimes and the powers that await you, we'll see what you do.
Dun 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 dun. 189 days in game. All right, activate the machine. We are going to fix the Hollowborn. Hooray. Super murderer. Yeah, I killed a lot.
At your command, the ancient device became your instrument, spinning to life with deafening resonance and gathering up the swirling essence like thread on a great spindle. There, in the pale, pulsing glow of the machine that set you on this path long ago, you summoned all your strength, focusing on your objective and blocking out all else. With a single concussive blast that rocked the chamber and sent you tumbling to the ground, you freed the souls from their stasis. Exhausted, your consciousness slipping away, your last sight was of the machine, dark and dormant. Then your eyes closed, and sleep welcomed you at long last. After coming to and searching for some time, you discovered the route Theos used to enter Sun and Shadow, and embarked on a long and arduous ascent back to the surface. You emerged in Ter Evron after days of tunneling through the rubble Theos had left behind, and when you stepped into the daylight, you were faced with a different Deerwood than the one you had left. At your direction, the souls diverted by Theos were guided back to the vessels originally meant for them. For the first time, parents of hollow-born children woke to the cries of their infants, and looked into their eyes to see them staring back. People fell to their knees where they stood, thanking Helia or Mogren, or even Aethys for their forgiveness of whatever guilt they felt they bore. But for all the relief that had come to some parents, others only found new grief. For many thousands of Hollowborn had died during Wide One's legacy, many by their parents' own hands. For those children, there would be no homecoming. Yet the last Hollow birth was in the past now, and those parents willing to risk trying for a new child were frequently rewarded, often with twins. Many felt they saw Helia's hand in it, and the year would be remembered as the year of Helia's splendor. Lord Radric's zeal had brought him back to life once, but it would not do so again. Radric's destruction at your hands spelled the end of his suffocating rule over Gilded Vale and the surrounding area. In his absence, the village prospered, becoming a popular destination for new settlers anxious to leave Defiance Bay after the riots. Without a nearby ruler, it also grew more wild, with many settlers moving on as soon as they'd arrived, turned off by lawlessness that was excessive even by Deerwooden standards. Nevertheless, despite the challenges of living there, Gilded Vale had survived, and would continue to survive for the foreseeable future. Following the assassinations of Duke Avar Wolfgren and Lady Webb, Defiance Bay was thrown into political upheaval. In the ensuing weeks, the streets had become the domain of looters and blackguards. Few dared to step outside their own doors alone or unarmed. But order was soon re-established by the Knights of the Crucible, who, despite their depleted numbers, had gained favor in the public eye for their role in the unraveling of the conspiracy surrounding Widewind's legacy, and were quickly reinforced by returning forces from Fleetbreaker Castle. For the Knights, their resurgence marked a return to the tradition as well. Having seen firsthand the dangers presented by dabblers in animancy, the Order quickly abolished the practice internally, preferring the familiarity of their hammers and forges to the uncertainties of Essence and Adra. Their identity rediscovered, the Knights suppressed their political aspirations and began once again to train their recruits in the art of blacksmithing, recapturing the post-revolutionary ideals of Deerwood and regaining the respect of its citizens as a result. Though the machine atop Ter Noaneth had been disabled, it had not seen its last use. Heritage Hill was rebuilt, and no sooner had the first families moved in to resettle the district than members of the Leaden Key, acting under standing orders from their Grand Master, climbed the tower and reactivated the machine. The initiates slew a handful of the new settlers under cover of night and watched as history repeated itself, the victims reanimating and devouring the survivors. After this second incident, the district would remain abandoned. The Duke's assassination at the apparent hands of an animancer had caused catastrophic rioting in the streets of Defiance Bay, and few animancers survived the first day. Many Deerwoodens took the end of Widewind's legacy as a sign, both that the gods did not approve of animancy, and that the purging of animancers in Defiance Bay had been enough to satisfy them. In time, their rage would subside, and a number of surviving animancers remained in and around Defiance Bay, often taking to the wilds to practice their science without repercussions. The town of Deerford had seen the last of the cult of Scan. Dark rumors about the town's many curses quickly faded, and travelers soon returned. The destruction of the Eyeless and the permanent loss of Abidon's memory emboldened Andra. She considered the knowledge that Kith might have found, both of the origin of the gods and her part in concealing it, and vowed that such a calamity must never come to pass. She churned up a fury in her seas. Underwater mountains rose and fell, and the seabed was swallowed and spat out again by the great maws that divide the continents of Kith. Only a fraction of this chaos reached land, but it was enough to swell rivers and spread earthquakes throughout the Deerwood and Air Glanfath. Coastal towns suffered so that few noticed the damage that had been done to Engwithan ruins, from Thane Bog to Twin Elms. Thus, they sealed off the White Forge and abandoned their pursuit of Durgan's steel. Durgan's battery became a trading post once more, and Stalwart thrived in its shadow. Stalwart's revival brought trappers, traders, and artisans from all over the Deerwood, and from Red Saris too. Prosperity brought peace to the border region, as Deerwoodens and Red Sarans alike left old quarrels behind. The Flames That Whisper clan found a cautious peace with Stalwart, particularly once the villagers heard of the aid the ogres had offered against the Eyeless. The clan moved back into the Russet Wood, and as Stalwart grew in prestige, the villagers formed a tighter alliance with their ogre neighbors. Within a generation, ogre traders visited Stalwart, and village hunters were welcome in the Russet Wood. Harmka's death had brought the Devil of Carrick little satisfaction. In time, her taste for vengeance soured. What replaced it was a hunger to feel something, anything, new. Summer had thinned the snowpack twice over when she felt the joint at her elbow first begin to stiffen. She turned her back on the hopes of animancy and civilization and walked east. She pushed through the mountains, past Raid Ceres, and into the broad plains of Ishamiddle. She had forgotten what it was like to simply journey, no goal or destination in mind. Though she felt nothing more than the steady thump of her feet on the road, the endless horizons and grassy meadows were new to her. She measured her time in the gradual rusting of her body and was satisfied. Her movements slowed, but so did the world around her. Waist-high grasses undulated and tacked in the wind, as gradual as the tides. Sparrows and blackjays made steady pilgrimages across the sky, each flap of their wings a solemn salute. She could hardly move when she found something she had never seen before, the ocean. With the last of her strength, she pulled herself beneath the water, content at last to feel the movement of currents and the constant caress of the waves. Zawa came to believe that the Deccan had survived through him. He returned to Ishamiddle, where he united a number of small, vulnerable tribes under the beliefs of his people. He called them Takanakin, kin of Takan, and under his tutelage, they became strong enough to resist would-be conquerors. Zawa taught his secrets not to one chosen person, but to all, that the line of knowledge might never be broken. Free from the burden of her memory, Maneha soon left the gift-bearers and resumed adventuring. Now that she had a taste for the world, she wanted to experience it anew. Maneha rediscovered her zest for battle, extravagance, and romance. She kept her gaze on the horizon, looking from one journey to another more distant, from the lover in her arms to another more fervent. Hers was a life of excitement, violence, and passion. She moved too quickly for regret to catch up with her, and she hoped only that she might outpace it in the next life as well. The fortress of Cadnua emerged as a bastion of security in the midst of an untamed land, becoming the envy of every thane and earl in Deerwood. Legend grew over time of its impregnability, and stories of formidable invaders easily scattered by the keep's defenses became popular around the hearths of Deerwoodinians. Likewise, it also became a beacon to travelers, merchants, and visiting dignitaries alike. Reputed as the finest fortress in all Deerwood, people would journey from near and distant lands alike to experience its fabled hospitality and grandeur. After the death of the master below, a strange quiet fell over the endless paths of Ad-Nua. The attacks on the fortress above ceased, Ad-Nua's silent titan the closest remaining thing to a master in its musty, forgotten passages. Pallegina had gone against the Duke Spell's orders by inventing a new trade arrangement with the Anamenfath to accommodate the recovering Deerwooden market. With the Deerwood's people still weakened by Widewind's legacy, the Valian republics easily pushed their would-be competitors out of the market. For her outrageous insubordination and audacity, Pallegina was banished from the republics. She traveled north in the Eastern Reach, avoiding Valian ports and entering the ranks of the kind wayfarers. Despite her bravery and dedication to those in her care, her strange appearance made her feel like an outsider wherever she went. With your business concluded, Haravius quietly took his leave and headed home to Thane Bog. The elders of the Fisher Crane had not warmed to Haravius in his absence, and when he arrived, he was denounced and scorned. Haravius spoke of his deeds and of his communion with Galawain, yet none would support his petition to return to the tribe. One by one, starting with the oldest, Haravius challenged each member of the council to single combat, humiliating the Riau in a series of savage duels. With half the council bloodied and shamed, the elders at last acknowledged Haravius' strength, announcing him a hunter of the Fisher Crane tribe. Upon being granted this title, Haravius calmly left the village and embarked again on his life of wandering. Adair chose not to return home to Gilded Vale. Still most comfortable far from cities, he settled in Deerford, which, like many towns in the Deerwood, was beginning the slow process of rebuilding. Believing now that it was the obligation of Kith to be the leaders their gods had not, Adair was soon named mayor of the town, and under his guidance, Deerford soon began to prosper. He expelled the last of the Scanites from the area and drew new settlers with the offer of land, a trick he had learned from someone he otherwise preferred to forget. With each passing day, Deerford would come to more closely resemble the gilded vale of Adair's childhood, the one worthy of its name. When the dust settled in sun and shadow, Aloth looked upon the remains of Theos Ixarchanon, his former master. He saw where the Grandmaster had gone wrong and what would be required to undo the harm Theos had wrought. With a flick of his wrist, he burned Theos's robe, headdress, and every other symbol of the man's power. Never again, he vowed, should Kith live in fear and blind obedience to an authority they did not understand. Armed with the knowledge and courage he had gained on his journeys with the Watcher, he set out on the long and lonely task of dismantling the Leaden Key. With the Watcher's goals accomplished and his own vows fulfilled, Kanarua sailed back toward Rawatai, thinking on the lessons his travels had provided him. By the time he landed at Tekoa, he understood what his path must be. Standing before the Lore College, Kanarua explained that the tablet he sought had been destroyed, and so a true interpretation of the Tonvi Oratoa could no longer exist. The people of Rawatai would have to create their own. He described the many strange things he had seen in his travels, and announced his intent to pursue the accumulation of knowledge abroad, seeking answers to new questions. True to his word, Kana soon set sail on yet another expedition, and in Tekoa, his passionate accounts inspired many to follow in his footsteps. With Theos defeated and the souls released from sun and shadow, healthy children were born once again in the Deerwood. The grieving mother sought a place where she might do penance for the birthing bell. She returned to Deerford, where, to the astonishment of the villagers, she delivered the first healthy child in over a decade. She remained there, and with each new birth, she saw a measure of hope restored to the Deerwood, and a measure of grace for her own troubled past. Durrance continued to blame Woodica for the atrocities of the Saints' War. Believing Magrin to have been a pawn in the machinations of the Queen that was, and feeling that Theos's expulsion had been a step towards reconciliation with his goddess, Durrance tried for a time to reopen communication with her. When only silence came, he took it as a condemnation of his continued existence. Ultimately, he built a pyre and threw himself upon it, using his own shattered staff as kindling. Sagani experienced the 4 months of her journey back to Masuk in vivid colors. She strove to memorize every moment of her final trip through the Deerwood, Glonfoth, the Valian Republics, and beyond, preparing to tell her village of what she had seen on her long journey. All of Masuk shared in her triumph, and she felt her pride and elation magnified by the joy of her village. Never again did she doubt the value of her sacrifices. After decades as a long hunter, Sagani finally became one of Masuk's most respected elders. She guided her community with wise counsel, and a generation after she finally passed, another huntress journeyed into the world to find her soul. For you, the death of Theos brought an end to your waking visions, and a silence to the whispers of the past. In their absence, you were able to sleep. The questions of a distant lifetime ceased to trouble your soul. All that remained was what to make of the answer. But at the moment, there was little to be done, and the matter would have to wait. A long journey loomed ahead.
Hooray! Alright, that's first playthrough down. I've got all the trophies except for the pacifist run and the plat. So once we get through the credits here, if there are any, we will set up our new character, and we won't get too far into it. We'll just set up the new character. All right, here we go. Blah, blah. There go the credits. Again. All right, we're gonna go new game. I get trophies on this one. 'All right, we're gonna go story time. Okay, accept.
Five wagons.
All right, blah 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 blah. All right, we're gonna go for male. Elf, wood elf. Rogue. Rogue abilities. I think blinding strike is the best option. Crippling strike. Okay, now we want to reduce might. On Dex goes up. Perception goes up. Intellect goes up. I'm missing a point. All right, well. A added stealth. A appearance is fine. All right, looks good.
Yeah?
We'll go with that. Yes. Yes, I do.
Everybody, hold it. Can I touch it? They grow on a bush that's common around here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one. Hold on. Kalisha, he needs to find...
No promise.
What kind of guy?
Kind you could...
Don't list off with you.
Right.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Anyone need supplies? I've got... Brought a hoe. Say, is there anything you need?
I thought she had supplies. Remember?
I see where you're going with that.
Something else you need?
Okay, deal with clothing. I can sell. I'll keep everything else. Alright, we're going to be close to saving and calling it a night, but what I'm going to do first is... see if I can't make this happen.
They'll never know I'm here.
Okay, let's have a look. Where's the berries? Go fast mode.
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
They'll never know I'm here.
Not what I wanted to see. Let's try that again.
Stay quiet. Stay quiet.
Okay. Why does she keep getting...
Easy does it.
Oh, nope. Did not need that. Right. Let's try loading it again. And then we're going to call it. Pretty much. As soon as I can get past this without...
Easy does it.
Got it. . Okay, save again. Right, across the bridge.
Sparkle? Ambush! Yep, we're going to finish up real soon.
Get inside!
Was that?
I'll be awake.
Then we're lucky.
And we're the...
We can't stay. Stay quiet.
Alright, I'm going to save here and call it a night. So, big thank you to everyone coming out tonight. Regulars, first timers, chatters, lurkers, and everybody in between. Channel wouldn't be the same without you across all the various endpoints. I gotta say, we did quite a lot. I'll put some tunes on. We finished the first playthrough. Got all but the last... all but the very last trophy. 2 trophies, sorry. We're now focusing on the peaceful run. And then we'll get the plat out of the back end of that as well. Alright, what do we got next? At this rate, looking at the next stream being on Friday, Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones. We're continuing steadily with that playthrough. Then Saturday is meant to be our multiplayer stream from our SMP server. That may be delayed slightly. I mean, probably still get into it, still go ahead with it, but it's probably going to be delayed slightly. Then Sunday, we're looking at continuing Infamous Second Son. Again, maybe slightly delayed. Then next Monday on Mass Effect, continuing our hopefully one of our last playthroughs there, and then next Wednesday back here with Pillars of Eternity. We'll try and get in an occasional Just Chatting stream at some point. We'll see how that goes. If you want in on that, head for the Discord. You'll find a channel in there called Giveaways. Head in there, you'll find a blue button. Click the blue button automatically in the drawer. And this week the giveaway is for a copy of Atomic Heart, and the giveaways are drawn automatically before Sunday streams. So that'll still go ahead even if Sunday stream's delayed. Otherwise, if you want to keep on top of what's going on, check the socials, Twitter and Insta mainly. Messages go out in both of those before each stream, indicating what, where, when. Discord will pick those messages up and relay them, and punch messages out as soon as the stream goes live. Other than that, it's big thank you to everyone for being here. So it's a very good night from me to all of you, and we'll see you all again next stream.